Morning. It's Burge Taylor, and we're walking this morning. This week is uncovering a sense of support. She talks about having supportive friends. There's something refreshing, energizing to me about being creative, about doing something. Part of these walks, and here come the dogs. Hello, fellas. Hello. People are starting to put out their fall decorations. I have some, I need to find them. We have, to my right, we have a cow pasture. When we get towards the end, where my house is, or the beginning, depending on which way you're coming from, I'll show you my very favorite house. It's my husband's very favorite house. We're both more inclined towards brick homes, and this house that I'm going to show you is not brick, but it's beautiful, and I think the reason we love it so much is because of the porch, to be honest. So we get a lot of funny stares. I'm walking up and down my street holding a selfie stick and a camera. I don't know, I could never be Casey Neistat or some of those people who take their cameras everywhere and are filming everything. One, it just feels too invasive. It doesn't leave much room for privacy. And two, when you forever got a camera out like that, your attention is divided between what you're trying to film and what's actually going on. I was so busy cooking last night that I didn't take not one picture of my grandson, unfortunately. But I was in the moment. That's what's important. My daughter bought him a pumpkin. It had a skull painted on the front of it, a sugar skull. And he wanted to carry that thing around the whole house. I was so scared he was going to drop it and it was going to go splat. Pumpkin seeds and stuff are going to go all over the floor. There's my house. My car is parked in the front yard. So here it is. This is our favorite house. It has a garage with a room above it in the back. It has a room upstairs, it looks like. See the wraparound porch? And then over to the left it has a screened in room, I think, a sunroom. But yeah, so that's our favorite house. Hello, it's Burge Taylor. And we're talking week 3
which is Uncovering a Sense of Support. She talks a lot about the believing mirrors. You know, when I first looked at this, I wasn't, I just kind of, I'm more of a loner. I need a lot of alone time. I have friends and family that are supportive, and I have online friends that are supportive, but I'm more or less one of those people who does things myself or by myself. I struggle quite a bit to show vulnerability because when I have in the past, it was a bit criticized. So now, then I got to a point where I didn't really ask for help very much. Over the last few years, things have started to change. But specifically over this past few months, and then especially the past month, I have realized I don't have to do it by myself. I have a really good support system, and on days when I'm struggling to be creative, or days when I'm struggling because of the chronic pain, or on days when I am struggling with self doubt, there are a number of people that I can turn to either just vent or to kind of throw ideas out to. I have a writer buddy, a few that I can do that with as well. Some are in the group and some aren't. But you know, it's great to be able to, well, first of all, you have to take care of yourself and you have to depend on yourself, especially when things get tough. But your life and your creative process and things are so much better. It's richer when you have other people to share that with, whether it's the failures or the successes. It's still a bit of a struggle for me to ask for help sometimes, but I have been doing more and more of letting some of my vulnerabilities show, and, you know, dipping my toes in the water of asking for help. Hey, what do you think about this? Or, um, you know, I'm doing this and I'm just not real sure about it, or I know nothing about this. What do I need to know? You know, sometimes we question ourselves. What is a real first draft supposed to look like? Or what is real art supposed to look like? I think it just, everybody looks at things differently, and sometimes it's really good to have support, a community, whether it's in your day to day life or online. I think a combination of the two is what works best for me. But I do sometimes have trouble. But I have noticed that asking for help sometimes leads you to some of the best ideas, and it'll take you to unexpected places. Julia Cameron calls the supportive people in your life believing mirrors. She says that they reflect back to you the beautiful being that you are, maybe that you can't always see yourself. And through their own beauty, they inspire and motivate you by speaking words maybe that you were thinking but you didn't voice out loud, or that you're afraid to voice out loud, or maybe you hadn't even thought of yet. And then in turn, without really much effort, you reflect the amazing creative beings that you both are, because it's a believing mirror. She says that creativity occurs in clusters, and the more that you push yourself and others, the more that you support yourself and others, the more likely you are to have a great support system, a cluster of those believing mirrors, and it's a very lovely thing. This week was a little bit rough. I took part of my artist date because I had to mix it up because it's been a very busy week. It's been a very busy, even busier weekend. So I went to Dollar Tree, and this is one of those trays that you put like dips or whatever in. And I am doing things for storage. So I have a couple of plastic bins. I went through these drawers. I cleaned out one big bag full of trash. I saved some things. I found some magazines I forgot I had. Like, I found this Good Housekeeping Christmas edition from last year. I hadn't even opened it. It was still in the plastic. So I have stuff for Christmas, collage stuff, ideas, recipes. Yes, too bad I couldn't have found one for Halloween, Thanksgiving, but I'm sure I have some somewhere. And then the other part of my artist date was spent doing this. My colorful rendition of what is on Finding Water. And that felt really good to do that. I didn't get to go have coffee like I wanted to and draw this. I had to kind of take an artist date at home. My daughter and my grandson came over Friday for dinner. I cooked homemade shrimp fried rice. Saturday, I had errands to run, grocery shopping, and then I had to prepare everything because my grandson was coming over for a sleepover. Saturday night, my grandson was here, and we watched cartoons. We watched a cartoon movie. We had snacks. Sunday morning, we had breakfast, and then we colored for a while. And have this. It used to be my daughter's. It's this humongous sketch pad thing. I mean, it's huge. And I got it, put it on the floor with his crayons, and he colored for a while by himself. And I did this. So my grandson and I had an artist date together. And then I got most of this done, and then he wanted me to help him. So I helped him, and we did the rest of stuff, and he really enjoyed himself. My daughter came over and brought second breakfast. Because I didn't really eat very much breakfast. I had half of a banana and some coffee. And then my grandson had some cereal, and then he had just a little bit of cereal, and then he had a yogurt, and then he had the other half of the banana, and he had some apple juice. And then a couple of hours later, my daughter came over. It's about 3 hours later, and she brought some breakfast stuff, and I cooked some stuff to go with that. So we had brunch. Before they left, I gave my grandson a bath. My son went in there after I washed my grandson's hair and stuff, went in there and was playing with the toys, the shark and all the different sharks and all the basketball and all that. He has these little water toys, and he had a blast. He really enjoyed himself. And then I was able to, after they left, I took a shower. I was going to go actually do the artist date and finish doing because I did watercolor pencils with this, and then I was going to actually do the water brush, but I never did get to do that. So I just did it at home. I was able to take some time for myself though, and that I think is what's important, is that we are creative, that we do creative things. It doesn't always have to be a trip to a museum or a trip to an art gallery or a trip somewhere like that. It doesn't always have to be that. I think you can make this whatever works for you. I do really want to go to the water or the beach, the river, or somewhere like that for one of the lakes. Something for one of my artist dates. I may do that this week, and I won't wait until the weekend. This was a much better week than I initially thought. Because the first time I did this, I was thinking I have the Right Stuff group. I have some of my writer buddies, but in real life, in my day-to-day life, I don't have very many people who are actually writers, but I have a few friends who are avid readers. I was thinking the writer part, I don't really have very many people at all in my day-to-day life that remotely understand the writing stuff. So I was thinking in the box, so I wasn't thinking outside of the box. And this go round, it just hit me that I was like, you know what? I have a few people that are very supportive. They may not be writers, but they are definitely creative types. Maybe their creativity niche is something completely different. Like with my husband's, it's music. With my daughter, it's art and other music and other things. But outside of my day-to-day life, online, I have a lot of support. I have a lot of people who are my believing mirrors, and that feels so good. I can't tell you how much better it feels to have that kind of support, that kind of community. It really is a blessing. Thanks. I'm going to try to put this all together and make it a little bit coherent. Have a good one, y'all. Tomorrow will be the coffee chat. Bye.